Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Charles Pius. First, the headlines. EEDC to disconnect government houses, CBN, Army, others over 180 billion naira debt. Senate asks federal government to deploy security agents to mining communities. On the foreign scene, Ukraine has rights to strike targets in Russia, NATO Secretary General says. Now the news in detail. The Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, says the state government has started receiving credible intelligence on the killing of 5 soldiers, which took place on May 30th in Aba. Oti disclosed this when he paid a morale-boosting visit to the officers and men of the 144 Battalion Nigerian Army at the Ungwa High School, Aba. The governor said that he was at the barracks to address the killing of 5 soldiers at the Obikabia Junction. He said that the efforts made by the government to gather intelligence on the incidents had started producing results and it would be sustained. Oti said that he had visited the widows of 5 slain soldiers and promised the commitment of the government to keep giving them adequate welfare support, as well as place their children on scholarship until they graduate from the university. According to him, the government valued the contributions of the Nigerian Army to the security in Abia and assured the soldiers of the government's support. Oti also appealed to the Army to carry out their investigations with the conscientiousness, or the consciousness rather, of the fact that some of the people already arrested in the course of their investigation may be innocent. He said that he had been informed that the people taken by the Nigerian Army for questioning had been released, except for about 10 people who were still being investigated. He commended the Nigerian Army for showing commitment to its duty of protecting the citizens, which had contributed immensely to safety of lives and property in Abia. The governor was received by the commander, 14th Brigade Ohafia, Brigadier General Lushola Dia, and the commanding officer, 144 Battalion, Major KP Dunia. In the face of the harsh economic situation in the country, some women are now playing the role breadwinners in their families. In this special report from Ebonyi State, our correspondent x-rays the plight of women laborers that engage in rice husk business.
This is the popular Abakaliki rice mill, well known for mass production and processing of rice. Aside the normal production and processing of rice, there is another interesting activity going on behind the scene. This is the mountainous heap of rice husk, where hundreds of women make a living by packing the rice husk and receiving 50 naira for each bag.
I didn't have husband, I didn't have any family of my husband, so it's only me that stands for my family. So I want to you people, when you know how we take help us, to help us. Make this our sufferness go down small.
As you are working it like this today, when you are reach home, if you are not taking a daily drop, your waist and your chest will be paining you, and even for you to wake up in the tomorrow morning. So difficult for you.
One would think that due to the heavy weight of the bags of rice husk loaded by trucks to different parts of the country, these women would be making a fortune from each bag they carry. But unfortunately, that is not the case. The women, who are mostly indigent and widows, make between 500 and 1,000 naira on daily basis, as they earn a paltry sum of 50 naira from each 50 kg bag of rice husk from the owners.
Sometimes I will be carrying 20 bag, which is that 20 bag is 1,000 naira. Sometimes 10 bag, that 10 bag is 500. So for us to be making it, sometimes some people will be carrying 30. It depends how your strength.
Apart from inhalation of soil particles that expose them to lungs diseases and other ailments, some of them die as a result of inadequate medical attention. Medical experts speak on the health implications of such menial jobs and the way out.
Apart from the eyes, because of allergy, where you can have conjunctivitis, You can have irritations of the nose. You can have the skin rashes. If you go and check them, you see the number of them with skin rashes. You see there's a factory wear that covers all length of leg, all length of skin. But there's a mask that sieves dust from entry. That's the respirator. So ordinarily it should be mandatory for anybody who is coming to work in the rice mill.
The government can also, pay attention to this group of people. But generally it's so difficult to have job these days and all that. And some of them don't have the qualification. I think we can help. We can get this group of women to get enrolled into basic care provision fund program, and then so we'll be able to provide preventive care for them, be able to take care of some of the diseases that may come because they may not be able to pay. So Ebonyi State Insurance Agency can do that.
It is the consensus of respondents that if the necessary measures are put in place, these women will definitely have a better living standard and working condition. This is the popular Abaka.
The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, EEDC, has threatened to begin to disconnect government houses, Central Bank of Nigeria offices, Nigerian Army, and others in the southeast, allegedly owing the company. The company, while issuing the threat in a statement signed by its head of corporate communications, Emeka, stated that listed organizations were indebted to the company to the tune of 180 billion naira for energy consumed. He argued that the planned disconnection was part of the company's strategies to recover its money. He listed the affected defaulters to include the Enugu State, Ebonyi State, Anambra States, Abia States, and Imo State governments, Innocent Technical and Industries, University of Nigeria, Enugu and Nsukka campuses, and the Nigerian Bottling Company. Others are the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Railway Corporation, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, UNTH, Itukozala, Ebonyi State University, Coal Corporation Quarters, and the Federal Secretariat and establishments. The EEDC spokesman warned that effective from June 10, 2024, the company would commence massive disconnection of supply to the customers and others with outstanding bills. The police command in Delta has arrested three notorious robbery suspects in Sapele local government area of the state. The command spokesman, SP Bright Edafe, while addressing newsmen on the arrest on Friday in Warri, said that the suspected hoodlums were apprehended by the command special squad deployed to Ugeli. Edafe said that the police squad led by ASP Julius Robinson acted on credible intelligence and stormed the suspects' hideout in Sapele town to effect the arrest. Exhibits recovered from them included one Beretta pistol, one locally made cut-to-size gun, 3 cutlasses, cell phones, and ATM cards belonging to their victims. The police spokesman said that some of the victims had identified the suspects and the valuables stolen from them. Edafe said that upon interrogation, the suspects confessed to having been involved in 6 armed robbery operations in Sapele. He added that the suspects were currently in police custody while investigation in the matter was ongoing. The Nigerian Police Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, has warned drivers who abduct policemen and other law enforcement agencies in the process of carrying out their duties to desist from such acts. Adejobi stated that under no circumstances should such be the norm. He added that the drivers who would rather fight or drive off law enforcement agents who contravene their vehicles are in great violation and risk severe sanctions. The PPPRO advised that whatever the case may be, drivers are obliged to obey the officers whether they want to take them to their stations or take over their vehicles. And elsewhere, the sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Ogun State, Anthony Uga, says motorists caught driving against traffic on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway would be asked to undergo psychiatric tests in hospitals. Anthony said this to newsmen on Friday in Ota, emphasizing that such offenders would face the full wrath of the law. He was reacting to Thursday's gridlock on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, where motorists spent long hours in traffic due to an ongoing construction work on a section of the bridge that Thursday's downpour with the attendant flood worsened the situation for motorists. Many motorists in a bid to maneuver resorted to driving against traffic, complicating the traffic problem. Uga said that driving against traffic is a serious traffic offense, warning those involved to desist, while reiterating the commitment of FRSC to urgently address the traffic infractions committed on the road. The sector commander appealed to the contractor working on the site to also put measures in place to alleviate the sufferings of motorists. Still to come on the news, Senate tasked federal government to deploy security agents to mining communities. China condemns U.S. arms sale to Taiwan region. To stay with us. Welcome back. The Senate has taxed the federal government to urgently deploy security agencies to mining communities across the country as part of the moves to maintain vigilance around mining areas and communities. The Senate said this move will help maintain vigilance around mining areas to prevent further incursions and intrusion by informal miners across the country. According to the Senate, as a country, there is need for strict safety measures to curb illegal mining. According to the Senate, the federal government needs to come out with strict safety measures and regulations on mining activities in Nigeria in line with international best practices. The Senate yesterday observed a minute silence in honor of over 30 people who died at a collapsed mining site in Galadima, Kogo, in Shiroro local government area of Niger State on Monday. The upper chamber also urged the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and other relevant agencies of governments to expedite actions on the recovery of the remains of the deceased. The Senate thereafter mandated its committee on solid minerals to conduct an on-the-spot assessment of the site to ascertain the remote and immediate cause of the rock slide and accelerate the passage of the Mine Ranger bill currently before the Senate. In business, a Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal on Friday slammed 150 million naira fine against Multi-Choice Nigeria Limited for disobeying its order on subscription rates hike for DSTV and GoTV packages. The tribunal sitting in Abuja also ordered the pay TV operator to give 1 month free subscription to all its Nigerian subscribers on the DSTV and GoTV platforms for flouting its order. The 3-member tribunal, chaired by Thomas Okosun, in a ruling found Multi-Choice culpable of contempt by flouting its earlier order restraining the pay TV operator from implementing hike in its subscription rates for DSTV and GoTV. The tribunal had on April 29th restrained Multi-Choice from increasing its tariffs and cost of products and services scheduled to begin on May 1st. And on the foreign scene, China on Friday condemned the U.S. State Department's approval of the latest sale of F-16 fighter jet parts and related services to China's Taiwan region in violation of the 3 joint communiques on China-U.S. relations with an estimated price of $80 million. It is believed that the U.S. arms sales to China's Taiwan region seriously violates the One China principle and the 3 China-U.S. joint communiques, especially the August 17th communique of 1982. Such sales gravely undermine China's sovereignty and security interests, harm China-U.S. relations and peace and stability across Taiwan Strait, and send a gravely wrong message to Taiwan independence separatist forces. China strongly deplores and firmly opposes this. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning at a press conference in Beijing said the Taiwan question is at the core of China's interests and the first red line that cannot be crossed in China-U.S. relations. China urges the U.S. to earnestly abide by the One China principle that the 3 China-U.S. joint communiques by stopping the sale of arms to Taiwan and having military contacts with Taiwan. It also expects the U.S. to stop creating factors that fuels tension in Taiwan Strait and also to stop endangering cross-straits peace and stability. Mao said they will take strong and resolute measures to defend their national sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Russian Defense Ministry on Friday accused Ukraine forces of firing 5 U.S.-supplied ATACMS missiles at the Russian-controlled eastern Ukrainian city of Luhansk in an attack it said had wounded 20 people, including children. The minister said in a statement that 4 of the 5 missiles had been shot down by air defense systems, but that one of the missiles had damaged 2 residential apartment blocks, something it alleged was deliberate. Russian Ministry of Emergencies released a video clip showing its rescuers working among the debris of an apartment building that had been hit in the shelling, according to a statement. At least 3 people were killed, the ministry says. Meanwhile, NATO Jens Stoltenberg has said that Ukraine has the right, according to international law, to attack legitimate military targets in Russia to defend itself. Stoltenberg, during a visit to new alliance member Sweden on Friday, revealed that Ukraine has the right to self-defense. Stoltenberg told a news conference with Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson at a military base near Stockholm that the right to self-defense also includes the right to hit legitimate military targets on territory of attacking party, the aggressor, in this case Russia. The Kremlin said this week that Western nations supplying Ukraine with weapons to strike Russia territory will have to reckon with Russia after President Vladimir Putin said he was considering arming the West's enemies in retaliation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with military equipment industries on Friday at the French Defense Ministry in Paris. Earlier same day, Zelensky thanked France for its support and said he hopes to see French jets in Ukrainian skies soon, a day after President Emmanuel Macron said France plans to provide Mirage 2000 warplanes to Ukraine. He was, or rather has, long expressed his frustration at how long Western allies are taking to make key decisions on military support for Ukraine and actually send help in its war against Russia's invasion. However, U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday told his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky that Washington will not walk away from the crisis in the country at war with Russia. Biden and Zelensky met for talks in Paris on the sidelines of D-Day anniversary events. It was their first face-to-face talk since Zelensky visited Washington in December, when the two wrestled with Republican opposition for more Ukraine aid. And that's the news this hour. I'm Charles Pius. Thanks for watching. See you later.